Hello, my name is Ayelet, and I'm the mother of now 19-month-old, but today I'm going to be talking about our Montessori play at 18 months old. So on this channel, I share all about Montessori in our home. We live in New York City in a small apartment. I have a 19-month-old and another baby on the way in a couple months. So that's what I share on here, and I do these monthly play videos every month, just sharing what we've been playing with on our shelf. I also share about practical life and other places on here and about Montessori in general and Montessori theory. So thank you so much for joining. And so for a little intro, this month or last month at 18 months old, we had a huge language explosion. So this is a common thing around 18 months, and it's so fun. So that was a really exciting part of our month, and I'll talk a bit about how that reflected in play. But at 18 months in general, I definitely saw a shift from this little toddler to a way more of a real full, toddler with a lot more talking, a lot more of that sort of stuff, but also just an intense interest in practical life, which he's been interested in before. We've been cooking together for months. He's been interested in that, I guess, for several months, super into that, but I just feel like it flourished and he really clicked with these skills. His pouring has gotten so much better. His cutting's gotten so much better. There has been so much of that skill acquisition in the kitchen. So that has been his favorite and really the heart of our Montessori home. And that said, on the shelf, he's had some toys he's been really into as well. So I mentioned language. The language explosion has been huge. So by far his favorite activities this month have been language focused. So what that has meant is that I've included language in a lot more of his other activities as well. So he'll have a material, and where, before I might be more quiet while he plays, and I still do that. I still offer plenty of opportunities for quiet, independent play. I also have been doing a lot more integrating language in, because that's really what his focus and interest is right now. We'll be talking about colors. We'll be doing we'll be doing different things like that. We'll be talking about, making sound effects, making all of those sort of words integrated into the play. So that's been something he's been loving, language baskets and things like that. So these little animals are very classic in Montessori, and that's something he has been really into this month, right? He didn't really show a particular interest in that before. He's now been loving being able to do language work with these animals, learning the animal words, learning animal sounds. So that's why animals has really been a fun focus, is because he loves the sounds as well. But we do that with everything. We do that in our, day-to-day life. I'm going to do a video soon on what the 3-period lesson is, which is how we teach language in a Montessori space, or one of the ways we teach language in a Montessori space. So we've done that with these animals. He's been loving that. So we've been doing that also with, we have magnets, and he'll go and he'll get, the animal that I ask him to get. And so that sort of things have been real hits this month. Been really focused around language. And I'll show some other stuff we've been working on. But as I said, I think that the language explosion has been really the main thing of this month. Last month, it was a trajectory schema. There's a lot of banging, throwing and stuff like that. And this month, it has been language. Still at 18 months, at every age, it's really important for me to note that the shelf is such a small part of what we do every single day. We spend so much time doing practical life. I think practical life is by far his favorite. Those are those everyday tasks, the kitchen, the stuff like that. Kitchen's his favorite place to be. And I love cooking with him. So we have, we do a lot more of that. We do a lot of playgrounds. We do a lot of going outside in general, gross motor play. We do love these materials, but it is still a small part of our day. So I always like to remind people of that, because the toys just are not the focus of Montessori, that you really don't need them to do Montessori. They can be helpful, but not necessary. And that's just something that I think is always an important note. So I'm going to show you some of what we've been playing with this month. Thank you.
As I mentioned in the intro, language work has been a favorite around here. He's loving using these animal figurines and animal cards for language work. He's very interested in animals as well as animal sounds, so that's been a favorite this month.
That's right.
Picture to object matching with these cards and little animals or other things. It could be everyday objects around your home. It's a very classic Montessori material. It's very good for around this age. Starting around 18 months is a great time to start these sort of activities if your child's interested. As I said, these are used both for language work as well as for matching. He still doesn't really have the matching down. He does some matching. Occasionally he'll very clearly make the connection and get it. Other times he doesn't really understand that, so we're still very much working on matching skills. Color matching can be another great matching activity to start around this age. We've started with only 3 colors. He has red, blue, and yellow, and as he truly masters these, I will expand to more colors. There's a very wide range of ages for color matching, so it's something that you shouldn't expect necessarily around this age. It can happen, or it can happen far later. So that's just something that can be great to introduce. I introduced it and wanted to see how he would do, and he's been really into it and had a lot of success with it, so that's something that just can really vary. We've also been working on shape sorting. Here again, I've only introduced the 3 shapes. This shape sorter has 3 shapes on either side, so I introduced only the 3 on this side, which is the cylinder, the rectangle, and the triangle. The cylinder or a ball, depending on your shape sorter, is by far the easiest, and the other ones will be more challenging for a child to work on. I do recommend choosing a shape sorter that has only a few shapes at once, such as the 3 here I was able to isolate, just to keep it more simple at first and then to add on from there. This is a 3D puzzle we have been really loving this month. It came with one of our Love Every boxes. I haven't seen it elsewhere, but there's a similar idea in a lot of the classic Montessori materials with size discrimination. But here, this has 2 different sizes. And so the bigger one and the smaller one, obviously the smaller one fits into a bigger slot. So he'll at the end realize that maybe they don't all fit, and that's good control of error. So he realizes that he has all of the little ones in, but there's still some big ones left, and he has to contend with that, and that's where a lot of the learning takes place there. I have discussed before that being self-correcting is a very important part of a Montessori material, and that's because then the child at the end can look at it and say, oh, what did I do wrong, and figure it out themselves, versus me telling him that doesn't go there, and you need to put that into the smaller one, etc. I discovered last month how much my son loves pounding toys. So we had a different one out last month. We brought this one out this month, and he's absolutely loving it like he did last month. This is a very good activity at this age, particularly if your child is in a trajectory schema, which my son was last month. I'd say we've basically exited the trajectory schema, but this was a great activity during that time. He was particularly interested in it at the beginning of the month, but he still plays with it throughout this month as well. I keep this stacker on top of his shelf sort of all the time. I don't really anticipate rotating it out. He's been loving it. He's loved it for several months. It's something he comes back to time and time again. So this is our only sort of ring stacker at this point, and I'm letting him continue working on it and seeing what happens. He still just puts them on in random order, and I'm wondering if he will start putting them in a specific order at some point. But he loves the stacker, and he continues to play with it on an almost daily basis. This is a different type of stacker that he's really been enjoying. This has these sort of pegs that go together, and he puts them together off of the stacker, but they can also be put on that pegboard and stacked. And he does it both ways, and that has been a favorite around here as well this month. This ball run as well is a long-lasting favorite here. I rotated it out for a while and had a car ramp instead. Then I brought this one back in, I think, last month, and he loves it, and he's been experimenting a lot with it and really enjoying playing with that. Thank you for joining our Montessori play at 18 months old. If you have any questions, please leave them below in the comment section. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more about Montessori at home. I share monthly play videos with what we are playing with at each month, as well as a lot of Montessori theory and practical life, including cooking together. We share a lot of that on here. So please join. I'd love to have you, and have a good day.